So, if you're even thinking about getting a car in America right now, you are facing a really tough choice. I mean, do you bite the bullet and take on the massive cost of a brand new car? Or do you stick with an older one and just, deal with the repairs? We're going to get into this because the answer is way more interesting than you might think. Let's just start with this number, $50,326. Wow, that is the record average price Americans are paying for a new car today. To put that in perspective, that's a huge financial commitment. It takes the average household about 7 months of their entire income just to pay for it. But you know that sticker price? That's just the tip of the iceberg. The real cost of owning that car is kind of hidden. It's in the interest payments, it's in the insurance, and it's in this one giant invisible expense that most of us just completely overlook. So what are you really signing up for? Okay, so to figure this all out, we're going to follow two different people on their financial journeys. First, we've got the person who buys a brand new car, and then we have the person who holds on to an older, what we'll call a legacy car. Let's really break down the true cost of each path. All right, first up, the new car buyer. Their whole game plan is about front-loading the costs. You pay this huge premium right at the beginning for that reliability, for the latest tech, and hopefully for some peace of mind. But as you're about to see, that peace of mind comes with a really, really high price tag. So the number one cost, the absolute wealth burner for any new car owner, is something called depreciation. It's the value your car loses pretty much the second you drive it off the lot. It's this financial hit that's happening silently in the background every single day you own it. And this chart, well, it shows you just how brutal that loss really is. A typical new car loses 60% of its value in just the first 5 years. Yeah, 60%. That means that $50,000 SUV you just bought, 5 years from now, it's worth $20,000. That's 30 grand that has just vanished. This quote from our source material just illustrates the point perfectly. It's like you're paying this secret, invisible $500 a month fee that you never see on your bank statement. You only find out about it when it's time to sell or trade in the car. It's just a massive, silent blow to your net worth. And on top of that, if you're like most people, you probably finance the car, right? Well, with average interest rates, that means you're paying about $7,900 in interest over a 5-year loan. And that's money you never get back. It's just the cost of borrowing. Oh, and the costs just keep piling up. For a new car, insurance is going to be 20 to 25% more expensive, your registration fees are higher, and get this, with all the crazy new tech in cars, even a little fender bender can cost thousands to fix because of all the sensors and cameras that have to be recalibrated. Okay, so now let's switch gears and look at the other path, the owner of that older legacy car. Their whole financial strategy is completely different. Instead of paying the bank and losing money to depreciation, their main focus is on managing maintenance to save a huge amount of cash. So here's the crucial point. By owning an older car, you've completely sidestepped that massive 60% drop in value. Someone else already took that hit for you. Now your financial focus isn't on preserving capital, it's on managing your cash flow for repairs. So what does that look like? Well, for a car that's over 9 years old, the recommendation is to budget between $1,800 and $3,600 a year. That'll cover your routine maintenance and what the analysis calls spiky repairs, those unexpected but totally inevitable bills for things like a new water pump. Okay, we've seen the two paths. Now it's time to put them side by side in a direct financial showdown. Which strategy actually costs less in the long run? I gotta say, the numbers might actually surprise you. Just look at this 5-year comparison. The new car owner loses an unbelievable $30,000 just on depreciation. Compare that to only $5,000 for the older car. Now, yeah, the maintenance bills are much higher for the older car, but even with that, its total cost of ownership is over $21,000 cheaper. The winner here is pretty clear. So yeah, the financial winner is obvious. And as this shows, that gap just gets wider over time. After a full decade, the new car has cost a staggering 59% more to own. We're talking about a life-changing amount of money here. This chart here shows us what's called the sweet spot for owning an older car. You see the biggest savings happen between years 4 and 8. That's the perfect window, after the worst of the depreciation has already hit, but before those really big system-wide repairs start to become a constant headache. But, of course, A decision this big isn't just about the money, right? It's not made on a spreadsheet. There's a very real human element to all of this, a psychological cost that we really have to consider for both paths. And this slide really gets to the heart of that psychological trade-off. For the new car owner, it's the chronic, low-grade stress of that huge monthly payment. But for the older car owner, it's a different kind of stress. It's that sharp, acute anxiety of, what if my car breaks down today? And the fear of getting ripped off at the repair shop. I absolutely love this quote from the source. It perfectly frames what a new car purchase is all about. You're not just buying a car. You're buying anxiety insurance. You are consciously, willingly paying a massive premium in the form of depreciation just to avoid the fear of an unexpected repair bill. So with all this data and all this psychology in mind, how in the world do you actually make a rational choice for yourself? Well, the analysis gives us a really clear 4-step framework to help guide you. Okay, first, there's the liquidity test. Do you have an emergency fund saved up? Second, if you already have an older car, use the 50% rule. Only think about selling if your annual repairs cost more than half of what the car is even worth. Third, you've got to be honest and assess the cost of your own time that's lost dealing with those repairs. And finally, if you do decide to buy, filter for brands that are known for being reliable and for holding their value. And this all brings us to the central economic idea here, what we're calling the conversion principle. Look, you're going to pay one way or another. New cars turn your hard-earned cash into that invisible loss of depreciation. Older cars, on the other hand, turn that depreciation you avoided into very visible repair bills. The key thing to remember is that those two amounts are almost never equal. And really, this is the ultimate takeaway. The data is crystal clear that for most people, paying the mechanic is far, far cheaper than paying the bank. At the end of the day, the choice isn't about avoiding costs altogether. That's impossible. It's about choosing the smaller, smarter cost and deciding where you want your money to go.